Hello everyone. The last 1 month has been super interesting in the world of big tech businesses.
NVIDIA has become the first company in history to be valued at $4 trillion.
NVIDIA crossed a market cap of $4 trillion and continues to be the most valuable company in the world. The social media giant Meta poached top AI talents from OpenAI with signing bonuses as high as $100 million. And Apple? Well, Apple just released the costliest advertisement of the century. Apple's F1 movie was shot during actual Formula 1 races, uses the same camera technologies as your Apple iPhone, and spent more than $300 million on making the film. But did you know why Apple, a tech company, spent such an insane amount of money into making a film? And no, it's not because of Apple TV. Watch this video till the end and I will give you not just the reason, but also a step-by-step guide to copy this wildly unconventional marketing strategy adopted not just by Apple, but by AirBnB, Michelin tires, and countless other brands. So, let's get started. Friends, this marketing strategy of using unconventional methods to garner attention is not new. In fact, one of the most successful marketing strategies in history came from a French tire company over 120 years ago. Back in 1889, two brothers, Edouard and André, found a tire company in the city of Clermont-Ferrand in France. They named their tire company after their last name, Michelin. Now the automobile industry was just beginning. In fact, the first patented car was made just 3 years ago in 1886. So when Edouard and André established this tire company, there were hardly any cars on the road. Now as years passed by, the number of cars increased from 200 cars in 1894 to 3000 cars in 1900. But even then, the cars were still considered vanity and not a transportation tool. So even the people who had a car had no idea what to do apart from driving it around in the city. This was a problem for a tire company because people were not using their cars enough to actually need new tires. Now to battle this problem, the other competitors of Michelin tires tried to sell their tires by reducing the price of the tire or improving the quality of the tire or by spreading word of mouth in the local newspapers. But wait, the Michelin brothers came up with a wildly unconventional idea. In 1900, Michelin, the tire company, published a small book called the Michelin Guide. This small book was filled with a list of all the gas stations, mechanic shops, hotels and restaurants in all of France. And this strategy was brilliant because if you gave people a reason to travel more, they would drive more. And if they drove more, they would use more tires. This marketing strategy of Michelin Guide became so successful in France that they even expanded this guide to Spain and Germany. Now over the course of next 25 years, the Michelin Guide sold millions of copies. And the one key takeaway was, people purchased the guide to explore the list of local restaurants and wanted to know which restaurants were the best. So Michelin used to send secret inspectors to review restaurants. And friends, that is how the Michelin star rating was born. And cut to 120 years later today, the Michelin star is a prestigious rating system for restaurants that recognizes and rewards exceptional restaurants for the quality of their cuisine. So now you know how two brothers who simply wanted to sell more tires came up with an unusual marketing strategy that shook up an entirely different industry. Now friends, I shared this story because I want to make it very clear that an unorthodox idea to sell your product is not something new and has been around since the dawn of fire in a cave. But the million-dollar question is, how can we copy this strategy and become successful as well? So I did some research and I have come up with a 4-step guide. This guide serves more as a criteria to ensure that your idea, however unconventional, is within the boundaries of logic to help you sell your product. So let's understand this 4-step guide. First, identify the perception gap, which is how people see a brand versus how a brand wants to be seen. Now just answering this question is like unlocking a treasure. I will give you a very recent example.
Apple's made this promise, this huge thing is coming that's going to change everything across their whole lineup. They've been talking about it for a while, and I think that promise is starting to fade.
Apple is being sued for the failed rollout of Apple Intelligence.
It really is just a visual vibe change only. It's just iOS 18.
So this is one of the most hated phones that Apple has released in the last few years.
I feel like iOS didn't need just a redesign. It needed a reset.
How do you think is Apple perceived in the last 5 years? Apple is playing it safe. Apple has had an innovation fatigue and is selling same iPhones every year. Apple is late to the AI game as compared to Microsoft and Google. Apple Vision Pro, the innovative spatial computer, was so far ahead of its time and so expensive that it failed to keep the customers interested. So a brand that was rebuilt on the premise of think different has failed to think beyond obvious. Now that might not be the truth, but that is the perception. Michelin also had the same perception that it is just another tire company. AirBnB, when started out in 2007 or 2008, was also struggling to get customers to use their website. Because with Airbnb, let's face it, why would you live in a stranger's apartment when you can live in a perfectly good hotel? So be it Apple or Michelin or Airbnb, all brands in their own timelines were struggling with perception or how people saw their brand. And now it was time to figure out how do they want people to see their brand. So now we have identified the gap, and that brings us to the second step. Create a cultural shortcut. Here, culture stands for pop culture, or in Gen Z terms, to understand what is trending. Because what is trending will catch attention and will become a conversation. And if your brand is part of that conversation, you are no longer just a product. You are a relevant product. So when Netflix released the docu-series Drive to Survive, capturing the drama of Formula One, it became culturally iconic and reported 700 million views on Netflix. That's double the population of United States, by the way. So now if we think again, it does not seem very out of the box, but rather a smart move to make a movie on an already trending topic to garner media attention and be cool again, right? That's exactly what Apple did. That is, create a cultural shortcut. Because culture reduces friction of acceptance and it makes wildly bold moves feel very easy to consume. And that is exactly what Airbnb did as well. So back in 2008, when nobody was using the website of Airbnb, they saw what was trending in America, and that was the 2008 elections.
The presidential election has received tremendous attention this year. Barack Obama and John McCain each seek to be the 44th president of the United States.
CBS projects that Senator Barack Obama of Illinois will be the next president.
So what they did next will be the premise of step 3. So hear me out. These Airbnb founders packed a limited edition breakfast cereal with the caricatures of the presidential candidates. So what they essentially did was added their own twist to what was already trending in the news. And this is exactly why third step is crucial, because the third step is add your signature. You see, if Airbnb wanted to jump on the trending elections, they did not just stamp the face of Barack Obama on their rental services website. That would be illegal, by the way. What they did was create something meaningful, something original, and something that will give them an edge in the cluttered media environment. Similarly, Apple did not just buy media rights and make an F1 movie. They invested their own creativity by using the same camera technology as an Apple iPhone.
The technology that's in this came from the experience of F1, the movie. Now, this is not the phone. I'm talking about this as the camera system.
Use Apple's ecosystem to release world's first haptic trailer.
So to promote the new F1 movie that's coming out later this year, Apple dropped a trailer where you can actually feel the vibrations that synced in with the on-screen action.
And they raced Hollywood's biggest movie star, Brad Pitt, on actual racetracks during actual F1 events to capture the essence of the film. So while Apple invested over $300 million, Airbnb invested over just $3,000. Now I highlight these budgets to enhance that the amount of investment is not a measure of success of the strategy, but the creativity to follow these steps is what makes your brand stand out in the crowd. So that's it? That's the 3 steps? No, there's one more, and that is circle back to your original goal. This is where so many brands get it wrong. Michelin, the tire company, did not stop manufacturing tires and become a full-time restaurant rating company. Airbnb did not leave their idea of short-term rentals and start making breakfast cereals full-time. When the creative idea is successful, you do not let it confuse you into changing your pursuit. You leverage this creative success to double down on your efforts. Michelin continued to sell tires and is consistently rated as one of the top 3 biggest tire companies in the world. Airbnb continued to develop their short-term rental services and today stands at a market cap of $84 billion. And if Apple failed to make a mark with their Vision Pro and immersive technologies, they took a step back and leveraged these technological skills and savviness into showing the possibilities of immersive technologies with a haptic trailer and an immersive movie experience. So tomorrow, if Apple leverages this hype to announce a new Apple Vision device at a lower price point to attract you, do not be surprised. Just know that it is all part of this 4-step plan that even you can use to build your own company. What are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comments. If you like this video, please press the like button, and for more awesome business content, please subscribe to The Better Company. Thank you so much.